In this episode, I'm covering the real reason that your membership that once felt really successful and grew quickly is now stalling, harder to grow, and even feeling like it might be going backwards. I'm covering exactly why that's happening and what the actual fix for this is. Welcome to the $1 Million Memberships Podcast, where we help entrepreneurs like yourself start, grow, and scale multiple 6- and 7-figure online memberships with simple, step-by-step strategies that actually work.
Your life is about to get so good.
Let's dive in. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of $1 Million Memberships podcast. Oh my God, I have been sitting here for 1 hour trying to record this episode. And I know a lot of you guys actually listening have podcasts as well. And so I think that you're going to be able to understand exactly where I'm at right now. I kept sitting down to record and my storage was full and I'm like, fuck, so I'm deleting more stuff and the storage thing is hardly moving and I'm like, what else can I delete? And so I'm sitting here and you go to record a podcast or go to record content and you're ready to go, you're energized, you've been prepping yourself for it, and you literally can't do anything else because you're like, I'm on my high energy right now, I'm ready to go. And then you know that feeling when you do computer work or have to do different kind of work and you're sitting on your phone and then you're just like drained afterwards and then the creativity is just like, bloop, it's gone. It's somewhere else. That's how I'm feeling right now, which is so sad because I was so ready to record this. We're still going to make it good. And if you're watching this on YouTube, how do we feel about this spot for podcasting? I am not the type of person who can sit in an office, really. I've tried it. In fact, I just moved into this house. Well, it's been 2 weeks now that I've lived here, and I haven't even actually created an office space for myself, which I know I probably should because there's some work that I probably should do in an office at a desk, but it's just like my vibe. You know what I mean? Currently, I don't even have an office. And I don't know. I kind of like this. I feel like it's cozy. I can like the lake right now, talking to you, but I can also see the lake and it's beautiful. So let me know. How do we like this little setup here? Honestly, I'm a fan. You guys know that. I like to be casual and I'm a fan. Let's actually get into the episode. Enough of my problems and my house. So I felt really called to create this episode because I swear in the last just month, I have talked to so many of you. I know a lot of you who have talked to actually listen to this podcast because you have told me that you listen to this podcast, but also just in the DMs with clients that I have, like this theme has just been really reoccurring. So I'm like, is this a sign that I need to do a podcast episode on this? Because I just feel like so many of you are struggling with this. And even if you're not directly struggling with this is going to be a really good episode to listen to because the concepts that I talk about in this episode are absolutely essential, whether you have a membership and it has grown and now it's plateaued, or if you're really just in the growing stage of your membership and you want to make sure that you don't plateau and that you do have a really successfully compounding, growing membership. This is going to be a really good episode to listen to. But I have been having this same reoccurring conversation from those of you who already have successful, I want to say quotations, successful from the outside, it looks successful, memberships, where maybe you had a period of time in the last few years where your membership took off. Maybe your content really started taking off on social media. And so therefore your membership really filled. People were joining your membership left, right, and center. It was really easy to grow. And you're like, this is amazing. Members were coming in really quickly. You were so locked in on like, yes, this is it. This is the thing that is going to be my legacy. This is going to be my main money driver. And maybe it has been, and maybe it still is. But also, what I have been hearing in the conversation that I have had over this last month with so many of you is that you're noticing that quick growth that you had and that success that you had with your membership has now come to a halt. It's not the same. It doesn't feel the same. Members are not coming in at the same rate. In fact, you're not really growing because even if you get members inside of your membership every month, you have the same amount or almost the same amount of people leaving. So it kind of feels like you're just treading water, trying to keep the momentum up, trying to keep up, trying to get your membership back, trying to get people in the doors. Maybe you're struggling to get people engaged at the beginning when your membership was really taking off and it was new and exciting. People were coming into the community and they were engaging and they were connecting and it seemed like it was a really great place to be. But now that your membership is older and it has been established and it's been around for a little while, you're noticing that it's hard to keep up that engagement. It's hard to actually keep that momentum up within your community, and you're just struggling to actually build a true community inside of your membership. You're struggling to repeat those initial sales that you had, right? At one point, it was so easy to get people in the door, and now it's like you're racking your brain every month trying to figure out a new bonus or a new promotion or how to get people in the doors. And you just didn't have this problem before. People are leaving just as fast as they are coming in, and you feel like you are literally treading water trying to keep your membership afloat. And not only is this not good news for your membership, but for you as the membership founder, this is starting to become mentally exhausting. It's draining, always thinking and trying to come up with ideas of what to post in the community or how to get people to want to stay in the community and want to use what you have inside of the community, and trying to come up with these different promotions. What's actually going to work? Why aren't people responding the way that they used to respond? And for you, as somebody who has grown this community, has had success with this community, and now you're starting to feel it kind of slipping through your fingers and going backwards, that can be terrifying, because likely if this is you, you've been banking on this membership to support you now. You've already had success with it. This supports your lifestyle. Maybe this is what pays your mortgage or your rent. This supports your activities, your kids' activities, your way of living. And unfortunately, for a lot of you, when you experience this, you start to question if your membership is even the thing, if this is even a good idea anymore, if memberships had their time and now it's just not the thing anymore, or if your membership is just not interesting to your audience anymore. And I am here to tell you, as somebody who works with a ton of clients who were in this exact same boat, a lot of my clients have memberships with upwards of 400, 500, 800 plus members. And when people come to me at that level with this problem, it is not that their membership is broken. It is not that the membership is at its day and it's done. It is not that the membership isn't interesting to the audience. It's that your membership was built on quicksand, and that might have worked for you for a little bit, but now it's starting to give out. Now it's starting to finally slip. So in order to know how to actually fix this for your membership, first we need to dive into the 5 main areas that a strong, sturdy, successful membership is built on. This also happens to be my personal framework that I've created for $1 Million Memberships Club. If you follow this framework, you can take any membership from 0 to $1 million membership. So let's go through that really quick before we dive into the actual fix. So number 1 is you need to have really strong membership foundations. This might sound very obvious, but this is also something that a lot of people just don't have, because when they put their membership together, maybe this is you, when you put your membership together for the first time, maybe it was out of demand because you were blowing up on social media or whatever your personal situation was, that you just got things together really quickly. Then your membership got a lot of people in it, and then you got busy, and then things just kind of continued to grow and spiral from there. And now you're here noticing the impacts of building this membership that didn't have any foundations, because you just didn't know what the foundations were, or you were literally just trying to keep up and you didn't have the time to build them. Membership foundations, this is going to include things like really strong onboarding, making sure that your onboarding feels as if someone is personally there holding their hand to really help them throughout that first month of the membership, how to use the membership for where they're at, how to get them to actually implement the things in the membership, all of the things. Automations, really strong automations, so that you are not doing any of the things, but again, your members are being held as if there is somebody there monitoring them and helping them through 24/7. Number 2 is you need to have a strong, consistent sales system, something where you have planned member intakes. You know exactly when you're going to be getting new members in, and you have a system in place that you're getting new members in consistently. Number 3 is you need a sticky community and retention plan. So much goes into here, but basically how I want you to think of this is, if your membership went away tomorrow, will your members even notice? Would you have members that would be like, what the do I do now? Oh my God, this went away. This was part of my daily routine. What do I do? I'm freaking out. Like how Instagram is or TikTok is for a lot of you. I should say us. Who am I kidding? That is what you want your membership to be for people. So do you have that, or do you have people who wouldn't even notice and they're like, oh, I didn't even notice that went away. I haven't logged in 3 months. Next one is visibility. If you had a membership that really took off and you got a ton of members in, this one likely is not one of your issues. However, it could be. Maybe you got really lucky, or maybe your content took off because you worked really hard at one point in your career, and now either algorithm changes changed it, or your personal life, you stepped back a little bit, maybe that changed it. Whatever it is, visibility is needed to get new eyes on your membership. People need to know about your membership in order to join your membership. And the last one is your membership needs to have opportunities for growth. This means that your members have to actively feel motivated that there is more to work towards inside of your membership, whether that is for opportunities in the membership itself, or whether that is for different levels of growth for themselves, depending on how long they're inside of your membership and how much they implement your membership and how active they are in your membership. All of these gears need to be working together in order to have a membership that continues to have compounding growth. Now, most people just have the basics and then they wonder why their membership fizzles out. This is the part you really want to pay attention to, especially if you do fall into this category of someone who has had a very successful membership and now it's going backwards. It is not anything like it used to be. Now, again, I have worked with a ton of membership founders who are in this exact same spot, who have followers in the 6-figure range, who have memberships with members of 800 and plus members. And these things that I'm about to tell you is where the problem always lies. Now, yours could be all of these. It could be one of these. It could be a mix of one or two. But I guarantee you, if you are experiencing this, your problem is going to be in one of these areas. Number one, the retention and community bucket. This is where you don't have a plan in place to really curate a community. Maybe you just got people into a group. It kind of worked out for maybe a year or so because it was newer. People were excited. But after a while, once this kind of dies down, runs its course, if you do not actually have a solid plan in place to curate an actual community, this will fizzle out. This is where you're going to see a ton of churn, a ton of people leaving your membership. And this is where you're really going to feel like you're treading water. If you didn't design a true success path for your members inside of your membership, meaning you didn't design something for them to actually be able to pinpoint if they're successful in your membership or not, if they're making progress in your membership or not, what they need to be focusing on inside of your membership, and what they are working towards by being in your membership. Again, getting them excited for the opportunities that they can have or the results that they can unlock by being inside of your membership. If you didn't take the time to design this and create it as part of a community pillar where you talk about it consistently, people know about it, it's part of your culture inside of your membership. If you didn't do this, then likely your members are overwhelmed and they lose interest when your members leave. Because if you're experiencing this problem, I'm also sure that your churn rate is on the higher side. If people are telling you that they left because they were overwhelmed, this is an area you need to be focusing in on. If you have poor onboarding or just non-existent onboarding, usually what founders have is a couple emails tops, maybe a lot of times even just one email when a new member comes into the membership. And a true onboarding experience needs to go over 30 days at least. So if people are just not engaging in your community, they're feeling overwhelmed, and you have really high churn, you need to be focusing in on this community retention and your foundations. You need to have a plan in place for keeping your members engaged, which includes getting your members to use your community as a daily habit and a ritual. Remember when I said, if your membership went away tomorrow, you want your members to be like, oh my God, what do I do? That was like staple in my day. What do I do? That was my community. That was how I got X result. That's what you want. You want to really build that habit around your membership for your members, and just the mindset in place for yourself and any of your team members, like a community manager, that your entire purpose and goal is to get your members to connect with each other. This might happen a little bit in the beginning, especially if your membership just took off. You might find that people are using the community, but in order to actually sustain this and build a true culture, you need to be doing things to encourage members to connect, to talk to each other, to feel like they are actually part of this community, and to then be able to create this culture that really grows legs and walks on its own. And you, of course, need to have a super elite onboarding system, something where it's really going to feel like your member is walking hand in hand with someone who is showing them how to use the membership for their goals, how to use the membership daily, where they need to go based on where they are, really helping someone get accustomed to the membership and fully adjust it. You want them to from day one, be able to see themselves in that membership for at least a year or more. This is going to come from the language that you use in your onboarding, how you teach them to use your membership, showing them, making it so obvious and showing them where they are headed by being in this membership. The next one is the consistent sales bucket. Now, if you are fitting into this whole podcast episode, you likely got a lot of people in by growing really quickly on social media or having some kind of era in your career where things just took off for you. It was easy to get members in and you didn't really think about it. You're just like, this is working, this is amazing. But now that that momentum has died down, you don't have a solid sales strategy and plan for getting mass amounts of members in the door anymore. You try things here and there, a promotion here, a different promotion over here, a bonus over here, but then it's just not the same. You're not getting enough members in to really counteract how many people are also leaving at the same time, and it's just not sustainable for growth. So in order to fix this, you need to, number one, have a really sustainable plan in place for sales. I always say you need to have a 3-part sales system that just stays the same. You don't want to constantly be changing up your sales promotions or what you do or how you get people in, because not only is that just so much to carry in your brain at once, you're constantly thinking of sales and it really takes away from the other areas that you can be focusing in on to grow your membership business. But your audience actually loves and looks forward to consistency. When you have consistency with your sales, meaning that you do the same or very similar sales approaches, ways to get members in, sales events, whatever it is that you're doing, when you do very similar or the same type every single time you open your doors, this builds trust with your audience. So you want to have a system where you know exactly when you are opening doors, what you are opening your doors with, how you're actually signing people into your membership. And you should be able to look at your calendar year, 1 year out, and be able to see exactly the months that you're doing that and know exactly when you need to start prepping for it, when you're actually going to be getting people in, when you're promoting publicly, when doors are closed, if you have an open and close, all of it. And it should just be able to stay consistent and repeat year after year. On top of that, you need to have a system in place where you are consistently getting new people in the door 24/7, where you are not lifting a finger. You have automations running 24/7 to be filling your membership. And these need to be real systems. They can't just be a freebie attached to an email funnel where it presents your membership at the end and then that's it. You need to have an actual system where it creates urgency and where it actually makes people make a decision, or else you can't count on that funnel to be a predictable method of sales. And this is where so many people go wrong. Every time I ask people if they have this set up in their business, they say, I have an email funnel. I have freebies that go to my membership. And then I look at the funnel and I look at the sales pitch at the end and the transition of, this is where they go into the membership. And that part that actually is the predictor of if people are going to go into the membership, it's not in there. And so it's really important that you have an actual sales funnel that creates urgency and gets people through the door. By the way, if you're listening to this and you're inside $1 Million Memberships Club, we have an entire workshop on this process. It is our automated sales and funnels workshop. You can watch it at any time if you're inside $1 Million Memberships Club. We also teach you how to do this inside of our consistent sales challenge. And everything is step by step checklists. All the things are in there. And if you're in there and you haven't looked at this, that is where it's at. If you are not inside $1 Million Memberships Club and you want to be, pause this episode, go to the link in the show notes or the description and come join us. If we are not open, go join the waitlist so that you don't miss our next open window. It is hands down the best membership to be in. If you have an online membership, not only for the information, obviously, that's an obvious, it teaches you all of these things to scale your membership to get to $1 Million Membership, but also just by being a member inside of it, you can see all of these things that I talk about on this podcast, the onboarding and the cadences and all of those things. You can actually see it in action by being a member, which is just absolutely, in my opinion, priceless. And in my opinion, is one of the things that help you grow your membership the fastest. So if this is you and your membership has seen success, but now you're just like chasing your tail, trying to figure out how to get members in the door and sales and all of the things. Number one, you need to have this repeatable sales system in place. Number two, you need to create urgency and FOMO around this sales plan so people actually join and they don't just sit on the fence. And you need to have something that you can plug in throughout the entire year and it just stays the same so that it doesn't take up all of that brain space and so that that your audience starts to get trained on, oh, she's doing this event, I better get in before I can't get in. Now, the third one is visibility. And like I said before, if you are somebody, the reason that your membership blew up is because you have a really active audience on social media. This one might not pertain to you, but also it might, because maybe you're somebody who blew up really quickly, but now your membership is suffering and your social media is not the same. So it's worth mentioning this one. In order for these first two to work, in order for you to have a really sticky community that stays retained, members stay long term, and in order to have consistent sales that actually work, that get people in the door, you have to have new eyes coming into your world, seeing what you do regularly. You can't just blow up once and then try and sell to the exact same audience. Maybe that's how you got your first couple hundred members in, but if you're not consistently getting visible, going on podcasts, growing your social media, whatever that looks like for you, if you're not consistently getting new eyeballs on your stuff, on your page, in your world, then you're going to stall out at some point. So visibility is crucial. If you are relating to this episode at all, if you're like, this is me, it's going to be one of these three leagues. It's going to be around your community and retention, or it's going to be around your sales processes and your sales systems, or it's going to be around visibility. Like I said, it can be all three, or it can be one really dominant and then two of the others, or it can just be one that is really lagging and the other ones are doing great. So where you fall on this scale, that's going to be personal, but your growth stalling and actually feeling like you're going backwards and just not growing anymore is likely going to be coming from one of these three places. Now, if this related to you at all, especially around sales, if you don't have a really strong sales system in place and your membership is just not set up to continuously compound in new members every single month, you're really struggling there, you know that your sales system needs work, I have something coming for you next month. I'm going to be releasing details on this on the next Monday episode. So if you're listening to this in real time, it's going to be June 29th, I believe, is when I'm going to be releasing. So either way, make sure you tune in. Make sure you are listening to the podcast. Keep an eye on my socials. If you're on my email list, keep an eye on your inbox and just block off in your calendar July 14th to 16th, because I have got something that is going to completely change your sales game forever. And if you're listening to this not in real time or just at a random month, not even pertaining to this month, you can always go to my website, paigevandy.com, and see what I have open and just the different ways that you can work with me to help grow your online membership. That is it for this episode. I hope this was helpful for you. As always, if it was in the podcast, I would love if you could leave me a rating and review on Apple iTunes. That helps the show more than you know. Other than that, I love you, I appreciate you, and I will see you next Monday. Bye.